Welcome back to Inherited Dawn, a One Piece podcast. We are breaking down the glorious return of the manga with chapter 1132.
The title is The Sun World of Elbaph.
And man, this chapter was pure adventure, pure hype. But that ending gave me chills.
A journal entry from an explorer, Louis Arnote. He praises the wonder of the giant's kingdom, but ends with a warning.
Do not overstay your welcome. Are you kidding me? What does that even mean?
I have a few ideas, but first, let's back up and go through everything that happened.
Let's do it. So, it starts with the great Eric arriving at Elbaph, and this kid, Colin, spots them. And the first thing he asks is if they're going to the pub. I love these giants.
It's a very Viking-like greeting, a culture centered around celebration, camaraderie, and drink. But Brokey says no, they're heading straight for the Sun World. They're not even stopping at the shore. This immediately establishes that their destination is special, not the standard entry point to the kingdom.
Yeah, they're on a mission. No time for fun and games. Yet. And Colin is immediately asking about Luffy. He says Shanks told him to remember that name. Shanks' influence is it's everywhere. He's been setting up Luffy's arrival for years.
It seems so. And think about the timing of that. When could Shanks have told him this? After Marineford, when he ended the war? After Wano, when Luffy became an emperor? Or was it years ago when he first placed his bet on the new generation? It's not just a passing comment. Shanks specifically told a child on Elbaph to watch for this pirate.
It's like he's the ultimate hype man. He's not just waiting for Luffy at the end of the road, he's been going ahead of him, rolling out the red carpet, telling everyone, hey, my boy is coming, get ready. It changes how I see their future meeting. It's not just a confrontation, it's a handover.
Or perhaps a final test. Shanks has been a gatekeeper to the new era. He stopped Kaido from reaching Marineford. He drove off Green Bull from Wano. By paving the way for Luffy in a place as significant as Elbaph, he might be setting the stage for Luffy to finally surpass him, ensuring he has the allies he needs for a fight that Shanks himself might not be able to win.
It's insane. And then it happens. The thing that made my jaw hit the floor. A rainbow appears leading up to the giant tree, Yggdrasil, I guess. And Brogey just goes, yeah, we made that.
They used something called a painter. The details are vague, but the implication is they have technology that can create solid light, or something similar. It's a beautiful fusion of magic and science that feels unique to Elbaph.
They sail the ship up the rainbow. A ship is sailing on a rainbow road. This is Mario Kart meets One Piece, and I am losing my mind. The crew is just as baffled as I am. Usopp's face is just priceless, pure shock.
It's a perfect visual for the kind of place Elbaph is. It's not grounded in the same reality as other islands. It's a land of myth, and they have the means to make those myths tangible. It reminds me of Skypiea with the Knock-Up Stream, a seemingly impossible path to a legendary place. But this feels more deliberate, more controlled.
And less terrifying. The Knock-Up Stream was pure chaos. This is elegant. So this painter tech, what is that? Is it related to devil fruits? Kanjuro could draw things that came to life. Is this like a giant, permanent version of that?
That's a good comparison. It could be technology that mimics a devil fruit ability, much like Vegapunk's inventions. Or it could be something older. The giants have an incredibly long history, possibly stretching back to the Void Century. This painter could be a lost technology, something that literally paints reality onto the world. Imagine the implications of that. They're not just creating a bridge, they're creating a stable, physical object out of pure light and color.
So they could just paint a fortress? Paint an army? That's super. And look who shows up. As they're sailing up the rainbow, we see them. Hajrudin and Stanson, the new giant warrior pirates, are here. The Grand Fleet is assembling, man.
It's good to see them. Their presence is significant. Remember, they swore an oath to come to Luffy's aid when he needed it. Their arrival suggests they either heard about the events at Egghead and came preemptively, or this gathering was already planned. They ask for Luffy, confirming they're here to support him. The alliance is strong.
This is it, isn't it? The beginning of the final saga. The Straw Hat Grand Fleet is officially mustering. We had Barto, we had Sai and Leo, and now the Giants. It feels like everyone is converging on this one spot. Elbaph is going to be the command center for the final war. I'm calling it.
It's certainly a strategic location, a powerful, isolated kingdom of warriors fiercely loyal to Luffy. It would make an ideal stronghold.
Speaking of Luffy, we cut to him climbing out of the underworld and he lands right in the hands of Gerd, the giant woman from Big Mom's flashback.
The very same. She was the one kind to a young Charlotte Linlin before the incident. She and Goldberg are there, and Goldberg is still just casually carrying the Thousand Sunny like it's a model ship.
Oh my god, the scale. The sense of scale is just masterful. Luffy is like a toy in her hand, a little action figure. And she immediately apologizes for what Road did, which is a huge deal. She looks genuinely ashamed and angry.
It is. It's a crucial character moment for the Giants. She's making it clear that Rhodes' actions were his own, a breach of their honor. The honor of the Giants is paramount, and they won't stand for a guest, especially a guest of this importance, being treated that way. It immediately separates them from the brutish stereotype and establishes them as a people of principle.
Exactly. They're not just big brutes, they have a code. And then Goldberg asks Luffy what he was doing in the underworld, and we get this little flashback. Luffy made a promise with Loki.
And Loki, the Prince of Elbaph, swore him to secrecy, a private deal between the future Pirate King and the future King of the Giants. Luffy is already forging deep alliances at the highest level even before the party starts.
Luffy's attempted lying is the best thing ever. I was sightseeing, yeah, and then I tripped and fell into a secret training course. He's just so bad at it. The Giants get so worried by his terrible excuses that they just drop it. It's hilarious and perfect.
But think about what this means. What kind of promise requires that level of secrecy even from his crew? Luffy's promises are sacred to him. He promised to free Wano. He promised to take Vivi back on his ship. He promised to beat Kaido for Momo. Those were all public declarations of intent. This is different. This is a clandestine agreement.
Maybe he promised to break someone out of the underworld, or to fight some ancient monster that's trapped down there. It has to be something big. Loki is the prince. You don't make a secret pinky promise with the prince to go get ice cream.
Given the name Underworld and its connection to Norse mythology's Helheim, it could be a promise related to the souls of the dead. Or perhaps it's a political secret, a promise to help Loki overthrow a corrupt king, or to uncover a truth about Elbaph's past that has been intentionally buried. The secrecy suggests that the knowledge itself is dangerous.
Totally. Meanwhile, the rest of the crew is dealing with Road, who's still chasing them. He's furious. Nami and Chopper bait him.
A classic tactic, the seemingly weaker members using their wits to create an opening for the powerhouses.
And Zoro and Sanji drop an entire tree on his head.
A clean, efficient, and powerful combination attack. Sanji uses his skywalk to get into position. Zoro uses a powerful slash to fell the tree with precision. It's beautiful teamwork.
Yes, the teamwork. The monster trio, well, two of them, working together. They didn't even bicker. No Mosshead or Arrow Cook. Just a look, a nod, and boom, a giant is down. They didn't even need Luffy.
They've grown. Wano proved that. They can handle a threat like this on their own now. Each of them is a force to be reckoned with. But they didn't have to for long.
Because Gerd and Goldberg arrive and they are furious. The look on their faces is terrifying. They just walk up and bam, they knock Road out cold. One hit each. Don't mess with their guests.
It's a definitive statement of power and intent. It tells the Straw Hats, you are safe here. We will handle our own. It also establishes the power hierarchy on Elbaph. As strong as Road was, he is nothing compared to these two. They are the Straw Hats' guides and protectors here. The chain of command is established.
They introduce themselves as part of Hajrudin's crew, which officially links them all together. It's not just a random meeting, it's the Grand Fleet Captain's own crew taking care of business. And then, reunion time.
Luffy, Usopp, and Chopper, with no sense of self-preservation or patience, immediately take off running towards the village. The Chaos Trio is back.
Of course they do. No hesitation. They see their friends and they just bolt. Meanwhile, the responsible adults, Zoro and Sanji, get carried along by Gerd. That image of them just sitting in her hand, looking mildly annoyed, is just... I love this crew so much. It captures their entire dynamic perfectly.
And as this is happening, the Great Eric, the ship carrying Franky and the others, sails up the rainbow and arrives. Brogy explains the layout of Elbaph, the underworld where Loki is, the sun world where they are now, and a heaven world even higher up.
Heaven world? What's up there? The king? Ancient weapons? The last road poneglyph? I gotta know. This is just like Skypiea all over again, but with giants. A whole world on top of a giant tree.
The parallels are strong. The structure mirrors Yggdrasil, the world tree of Norse myth, which connects various realms. The underworld for the dead or hidden, the sun world, Midgard perhaps, for the living, and a heaven world, an Asgard, for the gods or the rulers. I have a feeling a poneglyph is up there, yes. Places this ancient and significant almost always hold a piece of the true history.
It has to be. And they've all made it to the sun world, and the crew is finally fully reunited. Seeing them all together, Usopp and Chopper tackling Luffy, everyone else waving from the ship on the rainbow, is perfect.
It's a moment of pure catharsis. After the tension and tragedy of Egghead, seeing them all together, safe and in a place of wonder is incredibly rewarding.
And Luffy's reaction to seeing them on the rainbow ship is perfect. He's not even focused on the reunion at first. His eyes are just wide, staring at the ship on the rainbow. He's just as blown away as we were. You guys are riding a rainbow? It's just pure joy. After everything on Egghead, they needed this.
They did. A moment of respite and wonder before whatever comes next. A moment to breathe and remember why they're on this journey in the first place, for adventure.
Which brings us back to that ending, the narration from Louis Arnote. We get this beautiful, happy reunion, this incredible moment of fantasy made real, and then it just sucker punches you with dread.
He describes Elbaph as a land of heroes, a breathtaking world where history breathes and legends walk. It all sounds incredible, the ultimate destination for an adventurer.
But then he says this: by all means visit Elbaph, see the sun world for yourself, marvel at the glory of the giants, but whatever you do, do not overstay your welcome.
It casts a shadow over everything. This wonderful, magical place has a hidden danger, a rule you must not break. The phrasing is so deliberate. Not do not anger the giants or do not break their laws, but do not overstay your welcome. It implies a passive, almost environmental threat.
What is it? Do you turn into a giant? Does the island eat you? Is it a time thing where a day here is like a year outside? Like some kind of fairy tale trap? That would be a nightmare.
That's the possibility. Time can be distorted in the new world, though we haven't seen it on that scale. Or perhaps there's a ritual, a culling, or a test that outsiders who linger too long are subjected to. The giants we know are honorable, but they are also brutal warriors. Their laws might be just as harsh. Perhaps a welcome is a temporary state of immunity, and once it expires, you are no longer considered a guest, but a potential threat.
That is terrifying. It's like a timer starts the second you set foot on the island, and nobody told Luffy, you know he's just going to want to party for a month straight. Okay, that's the chapter. Predictions. What do you have for 1133?
My first prediction is that we'll meet Prince Loki face to face next chapter. Now that Luffy is out of the underworld, I believe Loki will emerge to formally greet him. This will be our first real look at him, and I think he will be presented as a more thoughtful, perhaps even melancholic figure, burdened by the secret he now shares with Luffy. We'll get a sense of his personality and what he wants.
Ooh, I like that. A formal greeting from the prince. For my first one, I'm saying we get the feast. Full-on Viking party in the village, meat on the bone, giant barrels of ale, a classic one-piece party to celebrate their arrival and reunion. We need it, the characters need it, and it's the perfect way to have a massive info dump through casual conversation while everyone gets drunk.
That seems very likely. For my second prediction, the warning from Louis Arnote is literal and natural, not malicious. There's a natural phenomenon tied to the giant tree, perhaps connected to the sun world name. Maybe the sun is a giant luminous part of the tree that periodically releases a type of energy, like a solar flare, that is harmless to giants but fatal to smaller races. The welcome is the safe period between these events.
Whoa, like a magical radiation or something? That's dark. I love it. Okay, that makes it a race against time. My second prediction. Usopp. This is his arc. We've been waiting for this since Little Garden. Next chapter, we get the moment. During the feast, the lookout spots a ship. It's the Red Hair Pirates, and as they dock, Usopp comes face to face with his father, Yasopp. The reunion happens next chapter.
Bold prediction. I think they're close, but I don't know if they're on the island itself yet. So for my final one, tying back into your earlier question, we'll learn what the painter technology is, and it will be revealed that it was created by a past Elbaph scholar who studied the poneglyphs. The technology is based on the powers of an ancient devil fruit user from the Void Century, whose abilities were recorded on a poneglyph found on Elbaph. It's how they've maintained their mythical status for centuries.
So it's like lost technology from the Void Century? That's a classic Robin theory, and I am here for it. Okay, my last one, building off the prince. Luffy's secret promise to Loki is that he will help the giants destroy something that's been holding them back, imprisoning them in some way. Maybe even something in the heaven world. A corrupt king, a celestial dragon artifact, or even the tree itself if it's some kind of prison. He's going to liberate them in exchange for their help in the final war.
A promise of destruction, a promise of liberation. That sounds exactly like something Monkey D. Luffy would do. He is, after all, a liberator. And if he frees the giants, their loyalty will be absolute. They will follow their new Joy Boy into any war.
I have goosebumps. What a chapter. Elbaph is already delivering on years of hype. We're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're answering your fan questions about the new giant warrior pirates. Stay tuned.